Well, good morning, my friends. Pastor Randy Fry, Gower Christian Church. And you are watching 7 Minutes with His Savior. Kind of got the dark effect going here. I'm not sure what the deal is with the lighting, but we're going to roll with it. Anyway, coming to you from Studio 2B, 2 Bravo, in the sprawling Gower Christian Church Media Complex. So today is International Women's Day. So I want to do some flyovers to some important women in my life and ministry. Pride of place goes to Mom, Gina Fry, whose faith has been a role model to me from the first days I took breath, and still is today at age 90. Next flyover is for my wife Rhonda, who is frequently a better Christian than I am, and who's been an incredible spiritual, emotional support for me in my life and ministry. And we need to also honor Missy Wilmus, who is the straw that stirs the ministry drink here at Gower Christian as our administrator and facilities manager. And it's her ministry that really keeps everything going down the tracks in a good way. And so, there's a variety of teachings about the role of women in the church. And we have to think for a moment, where would the cause of Jesus Christ be without the faithfulness and the service of women in the church? Honestly, they play an incredible role in the grand scheme of Christian ministry. I think in some ways women are more effective evangelists. That could be scandalous in some quarters, but let me just share with you an example. Here is Paul, and it's a lot of Paul's writing that we get some different notions about women in leadership, but here is Paul writing to a ministry colleague, Timothy, and this is 2 Timothy, the first chapter. And he's writing to Timothy, and he says, "I thank God, whom I serve with a clear conscience, as my ancestors did, when I constantly remember you in my prayers night and day. Remembering your tears, I long to see you so that I may be filled with joy, clearly recalling your sincere faith that first lived in your grandmother Lois, then in your mother Eunice, and that I am convinced is in you also." Paul cites two important women in the faith foundation of Timothy, who showed him faith by example, certainly must have taught him about Christ, and encouraged him in his faith, and they are the two people in Timothy's spiritual legacy that Paul chooses to single out. And so Paul certainly appreciated the faithfulness and the ministry of these two women, and many others, women who led house churches in some of the communities where Paul went and spread the gospel. So let us never say that Paul didn't appreciate the role of women in ministry, and let us not say that we don't appreciate the role of women in our church ministry. We must be honest and understand again how much the cause of Christ has been advanced by the faithfulness and the service of women throughout the generations. So give thanks, express gratitude. I think that's if I were to have a task today as a follower of Jesus, it would be to give thanks to God and to recognize women in each of our lives who have been faithful and who have been role models to us about what it means to be a follower of Jesus. We want to continue to remember Tim Morey in our prayers. Tim is home again after several days in the hospital at KU, but really just needs prayers for healing and strength in his body. That's important. We want to remember our friends in Iowa, the Winterset, Iowa area, and in other places south of Des Moines. Our good friend Bill Murphy, it lives in that area, and fortunately he didn't suffer any damage, but these are the communities that he is in and has been asking for prayers and for help. And we just want to say, Bill and family, we are praying for you and for the communities around you following the worst outbreak of tornadoes, severe weather they've had there in 14 years. And there was a Missouri family from Blue Springs where 4 family members were lost as they were visiting. And that's such a tragedy. A couple of young kids among them. So please remember those folks in that part of the country. Ministry-wise, this weekend, worship 10:30 Sunday morning. You're welcome to join us in person in our sanctuary. But we will also continue to provide the live stream on our Facebook and YouTube platforms. Youth group Sunday night will be our older students, middle school and high school. We're preparing for a June mission trip, and so we'll probably be working out some of those details for some fundraising. And we're also embarking on a series for Lent about noticing God. Where do we notice God? And developing some different spiritual practices to help us pay attention to the Lord better. So please, young people, come and join us. It's going to be a valuable time for you, I promise. All right, that does it for me. God bless you. And until we meet again, online or in person, I bid you peace.